Alright, welcome to Google Classroom Training. Let's go ahead and get started. To begin, let's click the Classroom main menu in the upper left-hand corner of our screen here. You'll see the different areas that we'll be looking at. Our Classes section, Calendar, the Teaching section right here, Archived Classes, and then Settings. Let's go up to Classes, and here we can see these are called cards, all of our class cards. Alright, just so you know, these can be rearranged in any order that you like by clicking and dragging, just like so. If you have lots of cards and you prefer not to drag and drop, you can also rearrange them by clicking on the dot menu and then choosing Move. Alright, say for example, this one I wanted to move it to the very start of my list here. I'll choose Move, and then I'll say go to the beginning, and it's moved it that way. I find it easier to just drag and drop, just like so. All right. Also, in the blank section right here, I don't have content posted in my other classes, but for our demonstration today, you'll see that we have upcoming due on Wednesday and something due on Friday. All right. This is very handy because you'll have the two most recent due dates that will be posted here in this section when you're looking at all of your classes at a glance. All right. In addition to this, you also have a little folder icon, and when you click it, it will open up the folder for this particular class in Google Drive. All right, so all the student work that has been submitted, as well as any of the resources that I posted, will be located right here. All right, a couple other options that you'll see in the dot menu are Edit, which will allow you to go in and change the name of the class, perhaps give it a section, subject, room number. You can do that. And then also to archive it, which essentially takes it out of this area and puts it in the archive section. We'll talk more about that here shortly. All right, so that's pretty much it in this section. All right, let's go back to the menu, and then we'll click on Calendar. All right. Now this is going to show us all upcoming assignments or questions that I have posted as the teacher on this calendar. All right, now this is different from Google Calendar. All right, this one is specific to Google Classroom, and the only things that we'll see here are going to be things that have due dates attached to them, okay, or assignments or questions. All right, something that requires the student to take action. You can choose to view all classes or just one class at a time here. Okay, let's continue. Clicking on our main menu icon again, you can see we can quickly get to any number of our classes here just by clicking the name of the class. Okay. I want to point out, however, that this is labeled as teaching. All right, your students are going to see something different. If I slide over to a student account, all right, and then go to this section, you'll see it says enrolled. All right, that's different. They are the student, they're enrolled in the class, you are the teacher, you are teaching the class. All right, so that's really the only difference there. All right, under archived classes, again, that's just going to show you old classes, ones that are no longer active, and I have a few of them right here. You can restore them if you want to, which would make them active. All right, let me come back here, and then finally you have your individual user settings. All right, these are going to be the settings that apply to you as an individual in Google Classroom. If we click on that little link there, you can see that we can change certain things, our profile image, all right? And then the biggest thing here is how your notifications are going to be received, all right? You can choose whether or not you want to receive these via email and the types of notifications you'll get, whether it's based on whether somebody has commented on your post, the classes you teach. You can see what all of these are. All right, class notifications, you can see we can click on that and we have a whole new set of options. All right, so maybe we only want to receive notifications for a specific class. Well, that's fine. We can go ahead and turn our other classes off. All right, so now anytime there is late submission of student work, you can see we'll get a notification. The same is true for all these other options here. All right, so that's a quick overview of the Classroom main menu. To create a new class in Google Classroom, click on your Classroom main menu and choose Classes. From here, locate the plus symbol right here in the upper right hand corner, click it, and then choose Create Class. At this point, give your class a name, give it a section number, a subject, and then you can even give it a room number. When you're all finished, click Create. Here's our new class. If you feel you need to modify or change anything about the name of the class, just click on the dot menu and choose Edit, and you can make your changes. Since I already have a class set up that I'll be using today, I'm going to remove this class by archiving it. Finally, let me get into the class that we'll be using today, Training Demo Class. One of the first things you may want to do once you have your Google Classroom created is to change the appearance. You can do this easily by clicking on Select Theme. Google provides many images that you can use with your classroom. To use any of these, simply click the image and click Select Class Theme. I'll go back because I want to use a simple pattern. So I'll click on Pattern, and I'll scroll down, and I'll find the one I had originally, which I believe was this one. I'll click Select Class Theme, and it goes back to the way it was. If you'd like to use your own image in your Google Classroom theme, click Upload Photo, drag the image that you want to use into this area, crop the image, and then choose Select Class Theme. You'll also notice the About link on the right hand side. If you click this, you'll see the name of the class as well as the class code. Alright? Also, beside the class code is this little display icon. If you click it, it's going to show your classroom code so students can easily join your class. You can also make this much larger by clicking this one more time to go full screen. Click the X to exit. And one more time. Google Classroom settings may be viewed by clicking the gear icon shown here. In this section, you again can rename the class, get your classroom code, provide options for your classroom stream. Here students can post and comment. However, if that becomes a problem, we can turn it off so that only teachers can post or comment to the stream. Show deleted items, and then Guardian summaries can be turned on or off. We'll say more about Guardian summaries in a little bit. The Classwork section will show us all of our resources as well as assignments and questions. Alright? It's in this section we can organize all this information up into topics. You'll notice the Create button right here. If you click that, you have the option to create an assignment, post a question, add material, reuse a post, or create a topic. I have 3 topics created right now, and this is just to help me organize the information a little bit better. All right? I have my Unit 1, I have the dates there, Unit 2, and Unit 3. All right? These topics can be rearranged in the Classwork section by clicking on the dot menu and then choosing moving up or down. All right? Also here in the Classwork section is a quick link to our Google Calendar as well as our Class Drive folder. The People section will see all the individuals associated with this class, whether they are teachers, co-teachers, or students. In this section, if you want to look at all your students, you'll see them listed right here. You can sort these by their last name or by their first name. You can choose to individually email a student, you may invite students who are not in your class, you may remove students in your class, you may also mute students in your class. This will prevent these individuals from posting to the stream. The Invite Guardians option will email a parent or a guardian a summary of all the events taking place in the class. To invite a guardian to your Google Classroom, check the name of the student and then click Invite Guardians. Enter the guardian's email address and then click Invite. Guardians receive a summary of their students' work and class announcements. To add your class to that summary, click Add Class. Now you can see this guardian has been invited. Once the guardian has accepted the invitation, you can choose to individually email the guardian or the student, invite additional guardians, or remove the guardians from the list. Okay, now that we have our students enrolled, we're going to go ahead and start posting some information to the stream. Given that this class just started, I want to get some feedback from the students, so I'll ask them a question. All right, first off, I want to know what kind of interest they have in this class, what they hope to learn. So I'm here in the stream, I've asked this question. This is not a question that is going to be graded or have a due date assigned to it. All right, so at this point, we'll click Post. Switching over to the student view, we'll go back to the stream, and here's the comment by the teacher. All right, so at this point, the student can click here, add a class comment. Now this is a comment that will be visible to the rest of the class. This is different from a private comment which will only go to the teacher. Okay? Students can reply to each other's comments by clicking the Reply To icon shown here. The teacher can reply to any student comment, or if the comment is inappropriate or off topic, the teacher has the option to delete that comment. If it's really bad, they can choose to mute the student. It's also worth noting here that when you post something to your stream, you have the ability to attach a file from your computer, a file from your Google Drive, a link to a YouTube video, or a link to another website. Keep that in mind. Next, we want to ask our students another question, but this time we're going to assign a due date to the question, and there is going to be some value to it. All right? So in the Classwork section, let's click the Create button here, and then choose Question. Enter your question. All right, and then if you have some instructions, you'll want to add those there as well. Okay? As far as points go, it's only one question, so we'll leave this ungraded. We'll just spot check it. The due date, we do want there to be a due date here. We'll set this for November 21st, which will be the next day. Okay? And of course, we want to assign a topic to it. That way it'll be located in the right category. Unit 1, all right? That way it'll be easy for students to find if they ever need to come back to it. All right? Next, we want to choose what type of question this will be. We have two options here, short answer or multiple choice. I'll choose multiple choice and then enter our selections. Okay. It's also worth noting that you can attach anything to a question, just like you could in our stream, a file from your computer, from your Google Drive, link to a video, or a link to another website. All right. Also, you need to know that you have the option to ask it immediately, schedule it, or save a draft of this question. All right. We do want to ask it now, so we'll choose that option. Okay. Let's switch over to Student View. Here we are. And we'll refresh the page. All right, so the student sees that the teacher has posted a question. That's what this blue question icon represents here. They'll also see that indicated on the classwork page. Okay? Now the icons that have a darker color and are not grayed out means that we as a student need to take action on them. All right, so as the student, we can click on the question and we can see that this is due November 21st. It's been assigned to us, so we need to take action here. All right, so I'm going to read the question and I'll choose this first answer. All right, then I'll turn it in and one more time. All right, we'll come back to our teacher view. All right, and here's the question. I will click on it and I can see that one student has turned it in. 4 others still have yet to do it. All right, so if I want to view the question, I'll click here. Basically, this is the question page. I can look at the question, go to my student answers here. In this case, Jose has turned it in. So I'll check Jose's name and go ahead and return it. At this point, I can add a comment here. And click return. All right, and then that's all we need to do. Now the rest of these students, they have yet to turn it in, so they will remain up here in this area until they do. All right? We should also point out here that any student who has assignments that are coming due, in the stream section, they will see a little message over here on the left telling them that that's coming up. All right? Because they only have one item that's coming due, only one is shown here. All right. If they clicked view all, if there were others, they would be able to see all of them. All right. So this student still hasn't done or answered that first question, so they would need to go ahead and click on it. Here's our question once more. This student will answer incorrectly, and then they will turn it in. All right. Let's come back to our teacher view. All right, we'll refresh our page here. And we should see now that one just turned it in, and it was Carol right here. One has already been returned. That's Jose. All right, so we'll go ahead and check Carol's name there and then return it. Then click return. All right. Okay, now we're going to give our students an assignment. All right, so let's click on the Classwork section here. Click the Create button and then choose the assignment option. All right, give your assignment a title. Okay, and then any instructions you feel necessary to post. All right, we do want this assignment to be worth 100 points. We will give it a due date. We'll say November 23rd. All right, next we need to pick a topic. All right, this all needs to go in the Unit 1 topic. All right, so we'll choose this option here. Okay, next. If there are any supplements that you need to attach to this assignment, maybe directions or links or videos, you can do it down here. All right. Now, if say you wanted to create an assignment and have the students work from a copy. You can think of this as sort of like a blank handout. In this case, I'm asking students to create a 3-slide presentation in Google Slides. Now, I already have one that I've made up that is basically just the framework. All they'd have to do is fill in the blanks. So I'm going to choose this option. All right, so I'll find that slides presentation inside my Google Drive. I just worked on it, so it's going to be right here, Tech Terms Presentation. I'll click Add. Now you see over here it says students can view the file. Well, I want to make a copy for all of my students. All right, so I'll click this drop down arrow and then I'll select Make a Copy for each student. All right, again, we have the option to assign it now, schedule it, or save a draft of this assignment. I will choose Assign. Okay? Okay, let's switch over to one of our student views. Okay, this is Jose. We will refresh the page here. Actually, let's first come back to the stream. And it says, coming up Friday, we have the Tech Terms assignment that's going to be due. So we could click on it here, or we could go to Classwork, and you can see in Unit 1, 2 of the icons are grayed out. That means we've already done them. Here's one that we do need to take action on. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the assignment. It says it's due November 23rd. All right, we've read the directions. Okay, the student wants to work on this assignment. So they can click on it right here. Okay, so it pulled up Google Slides, and as you can see, it titled the name of the presentation, the name of the student, followed by the name of the assignment. All right, so now at this point, all the student needs to do is to go ahead and basically fill in the blanks here. Okay? Okay, here's another student's page, Carol. We're going to go ahead and have her click on the assignment, and here it is. And there's an assignment page that you can click on as well. If this student was to click here on the Google Slides presentation, it would open up the copy that I made from Google Slides. All right, at that point she can work on it. But if she goes to the assignment page, you're going to see here it is. Here's the assignment. Now, this student actually already had it completed. All right, they read the syllabus and they did the work early. So they don't want to submit this one here. So they're going to delete that, and then they'll click Add. They're going to go to their Google Drive. Okay, and here's one of the assignments that she created earlier. Okay, so click Add. Okay, here it is. All right, at this point, she can go ahead and turn it in. She's going to leave a note here for me. And then she'll click Post. All right, and then she'll turn it in. And turn it in. Okay, let's create this assignment again, but this time we're not going to attach any files for the students. All right? It's identical to the one we had previously, except for the fact that we have not included an attachment. Let's save the file. All right, let's come over here to our student view. All right. The directions say pick 3 random terms just like before. All right, so in this case, the student is going to have to create a Google Slides presentation. They're not clicking on the copy that I made for them. All right, so they have not already done this assignment, so they're not going to their drive. They're going to create one from scratch. So they'll click the Create button here, and they'll select the Slides option because that's the type of file we are asking them to create. All right, so they'll choose that. It'll create the file. It'll put their name on it, followed by the name of the assignment. All right, now at this point, if all of their work is done on the assignment, they could turn it in. All right, in this case, it's not because the presentation was just now created. So at this point, they'll click on it. They'll make their changes to it. They'll close out, and then they will turn it in. Here we are. I'll click on the presentation assignment, view the assignment. All right, so I can see that Carol is the only one that actually looks like has done some work on it. Okay, the others, no work has been done on them. These are just the copies that I made. All right, so at this point, if I want to take a look at Carol's work, I would click on the assignment, and it's going to bring up these new grading tools. All right, this is a new feature of Google Classroom. All right, so I'm looking through her slides. I can see that the requirement was for 3 slides, each to have a tech term, as well as a definition and an icon. And looks like she has met all those requirements. All right, so what I will do on the right-hand side here is I can give her a grade. We'll give her 100. All right, and if I want to add a private comment, I can do that here. All right. I can post that. One other thing I want to show you here is the comment bank. So if there are different comments that you maybe use on a regular basis, such as great job or this needs improvement, you can actually create a bank of commonly used comments and pick from those. All right, you just click on the bank here. Here's some that I created earlier. And the way it would work is you create the comments and then you just copy them to the clipboard, okay? Just like so. And then you can come back here and paste them in, okay? All right, while you're grading, if you had other presentations that were submitted, you can quickly go to those, all right? You can use your navigation arrows here, go back and forth from one to the next, all right? So Carol's is ready to return. All right, I've given her a grade. I'll click return and return one more time. Okay, now at this point I can close out of my grading tools. All right, and out of this. All right, now I'll refresh my page. Okay, and we can see now that we have graded Carol's work. We gave her a 100, and it has been returned. Okay? Whenever you grade an assignment, it also sends the student an email, which is an indication that, hey, you've returned their work, and they can click on a link in their email, and it'll take them right to the assignment. Let's see if we can show you that view. Okay, here's the email. She can click on the link, and she can see her score here, as well as the comments that we exchanged between each other. We also want to point out here that you can create an assignment and assign it to more than one class at a time. Simply click the drop-down menu here, check the other classes you want to create this assignment for. Give it a title, add instructions, attach any necessary files, and then click Assign. If you're only working with one class, you also have the option to only assign it to select students. Right now our top option is selected, so all students will be given this assignment. We'll deselect the top option. Now this time we'll just check the students' names whom we want this assignment to be given to. All right? Click off of it, add your title, instructions, and then click Assign. To assign an assessment test that you created with Google Forms, click the Create button and then choose Assignment. Give it a title and any instructions. We'll let our points value remain at 100. This will need to be taken by Friday. and it falls under the topic or category of Unit 1. All right. Now, this was a Google form, so this is going to be located inside my Google Drive. So I'll click the Drive icon, and it should appear under Recent. Here it is, Unit 1 Test. I'll click Add. All right. Now, this is another new feature here of Google Classroom, grade importing. All right. It says, Classroom can import grades for assignments. Grade importing automatically limits each form to one response per user, collects their email address, and restricts responses to users in your domain. Okay, so all that applies to us. We want to go ahead and choose this option. All right, so we'll click Assign. Okay, it's now been posted. Let's go ahead and see what our students see. We'll go back to our class main page here, and we'll refresh it. Okay, it says the teacher posted a new assignment. It's our Unit 1 test. All right, so the student will click on it. Here's the test, so they'll go ahead and click on it, and then they'll take it. All right, I'll take this as the student. All right, the student will then click Submit. All right, now at this point, they can click View Their Score. It tells them they got an 80. All right, let me come back to Teacher View. All right, here's the test. I'll view it. Okay, so at this point, only one student has taken the test. It's been turned in, all right, by Carol. I'm going to pause it here, and I'll go ahead and take it as other students. Okay, so all my students have now taken the test. Rather than viewing all the responses in Google Forms, copying the grades down, and bringing them over to here and typing them in manually, because I enabled the Import Grades option when I created this assignment, I can just click this icon here right now, and it'll automatically bring the grades in for me. So I'll click this option, and then import once more. Now here are my grades. Now it remains in the draft status until I check this option here and return them. All right. When I click that return icon there, I have the option to review the grades as well as provide a general comment to all my classes. All right, we'll click return. And we're done. Let's come back to student view, see what it looks like on their side. Okay. This is Jose. All right. Let's go to the Classwork section, and his unit test, we can view it, and we can see that he made a 40 on this. Okay, here are a few miscellaneous Google Classroom tips. First off, you can send a student or parent, or anyone for that matter, who's enrolled in your Google Classroom, a direct link to a file, an assignment, a question, or anything that you've posted. All right, so say for example, maybe you have a student who's been out sick. You want to send them a direct link via email to the assignment page of, let's say, this particular assignment here. All you need to do is click on the dot menu of the assignment and choose Copy the Link. All right, I'll come up here to a new tab, and I will compose an email to one of the students. Okay. And I'll paste in the link here. There it is. I'll make it a link. Okay, and then I'll choose Send. All right, let me switch on over to Jose's email here. All right, so here's the new email from me, the teacher. They can click on the link, and here's the assignment. Okay, there may be occasions where you want to reuse a post. If that's the case, you can do it a couple of ways. You can click the reuse icon here, as you see here in the stream. At this point, you just navigate to the class where the original post was and choose from all the posts that you've posted there, and then click reuse. You also have the option to create new copies of any attachments that you added to assignments. All right. You also see this option in the Classwork section where it says create. Click that button and then go to reuse post, and we're right back to where we were. One of the nice things about Google Classroom is that it integrates so well with Google Calendar. So a student, and we have a student account pulled up right here, we're in Classroom, you'll see this icon right here. It says Google Calendar. All right, so if they want to see all their assignments inside their calendar, where maybe they have their schedules for class or other events, all they need to do is click on Google Calendar, that icon there, and it'll take them to Calendar, and as you can see, there are the assignments and things that are due. And if they click on any one of these, we'll click Got It. We'll see the assignment description or the question description. And even if they had Google Classroom closed, and let me do that right now, and this one here too. All right, they could get right back to the assignment by clicking on the link supplied in Google Calendar. All right. There may come a time when you wish to add another teacher to your Google Classroom page. This is going to be someone who has the role of teacher, who's able to add assignments and manage students. All right, Google Classroom makes this easy. In the People section, simply click the icon shown here. At this point, type in the name of the teacher or their email address, and then click Invite. Once they accept the invitation, they will then become a part of your class and are able to manage the class just like you are. The Share to Classroom extension is a Chrome browser add-on that's going to allow you to quickly and easily share websites with your students. After installation, click the Share to Classroom icon. Choose the Google Classroom you wish to share the website with. I'll choose this class here. On the next screen, we see a summary of what's going to happen. This will be pushed to students. It gives me the name of the website, and then a big blue push button. All right. Down at the bottom, we have a history of all the websites we've pushed to students in the event that we want to go back to it and push it again. Also, we have websites that students have pushed to us. All right. Some other options here, beside push to students, is you can create an assignment based on this website, ask a question, or make an announcement, all with this website attached. All right. Let's go ahead and click Push. Now I'll switch over to my student screen, and it should appear in their browser window in just a moment. Here it comes. All right. So that's how it works. Okay. Let me close out of this. Let me show you and demonstrate how this works on the student side. So here the student has found a useful website on the history of computers. The student wants to share it with the teacher. Just like the teacher, they'll click on the Share to Classroom icon up here. It's going to show his classes. He is in the training demo class. At this point, we want to go ahead and push it to the teacher. We'll click that. I'll come back to the teacher screen here. Now notice it's not going to automatically show up on my screen here. All right, in order for me to access it, I'll need to click the Share to Classroom icon and then choose Received from Students. As you can see, I have a little notification here. It says one new. So if I click on this, oh, there's the URL that the student, Jose, has sent me. So I'll click on it. Now if your computer is hooked up to a TV or a projector, your entire class can see it. So that's how Share to Classroom works. To find it, just go to the Chrome Web Store, search Share to Classroom, and you'll be able to install it. Cast for Education is a great utility that's built into Chrome that allows you to view your students' screens on your screen. This has great benefits if you want to quickly and easily share a student's screen with the rest of the class. So if your computer is hooked up to a monitor, a projector, or a flat screen television, and another student casts their screen to your screen, well, then the whole class can see it. Now let me show you how this is all going to work. All right, the very first thing I found out that you need to do on the back end is to enable notifications on your computer. That way, whenever the student requests access to your computer, you'll see that notification come in and you can choose to accept it. All right, on your Mac, you're going to click on your Apple and then choose System Preferences. Okay? Find the Notifications option, which is the top row, and then you're going to look for Chrome. All right? For whatever reason, I have two versions of Chrome on here. I'm going to have to get that taken care of, but what I want you to focus on is choosing Chrome and then choosing the Google Chrome Alert style. I found that if you choose Alerts, that's going to leave the notification up on your screen until you take action. Now, for whatever reason, I have two on here, so I'm making sure that both are set to the Alerts option. Okay? The other thing you want to make sure that's not enabled is Do Not Disturb. When I was testing this earlier, I realized I had Do Not Disturb on, and with that being the case, I wasn't receiving the request from my student account in order to cast the screen. All right, so make sure Do Not Disturb is not turned on. All right? All right, assuming that's taken care of in the background, the next thing you want to do is configure your Google Cast receiver. All right, so in Chrome, you're going to look for this green icon shown right here, Google Cast for Education. All right, I'm going to click that icon, and then it's going to show you your receiver. Now, this is all grayed out, and basically, this is the area that whatever is cast will show up in. Okay, so your student, they send your screen, it appears right here. It's just another window that can be moved, placed wherever you want to. All right, so let's get into the settings here. On settings, you have the name of the receiver. So this is going to be what the student looks for when they're casting, the name that you've given it here. All right, we have automatically full screen for new presentation sessions. All right, so as soon as they cast, we'll see it go full screen if this option is checked. All right, you can see what some of the others are here too. I'm going to go ahead and click Save, all right, because I'm satisfied with these. Next, you need to decide who's going to have access to this receiver. All right, so we'll click the Share icon shown right here, and I have it set up to where one class, my demo training class, is set to be able to have access to this screen. All right, now the option that I've chosen here is that teachers can present and students can request. So what that means is if I have a co-teacher, they can automatically send their screen to mine. They don't have to ask for access. Student, though, does have to request it. All right, some other options here are can present or remove access. So let me go ahead and remove everything and then close out of this so you can see what it looks like to add a class from the very beginning. All right, so we'll click Share. All right, Add People. We'll click in this region here, and then all of your Google Classroom classes will be listed. All right, I'm going to choose this one here, Training Demo 2, and then teachers can present, students can request. Notice you can also set it to can present. That way, if a student presents, it automatically comes to this receiver. I'm going to leave this option set here. All right, and then you have to click Add just like so. You can also set this for individuals or groups that are in your contacts. All right, just type in their email address or the name of the group, and then they'll be granted access. All right, I'm going to close out of this. Next, I'm going to switch over to my student screen. All right, and here they are. So the student has a Google drawing. The teacher said, all right, the rest of the class needs to see this. All right, the student needs to click the three-dot option and then cast. Okay, there's the receiver that we named a little bit ago. Now before we cast it, notice what we can cast. We can cast our open tab right here, our entire desktop, or we can stream a video or an audio file. All right, we just have to choose it. All right, we're going to choose to cast this tab right here. All right, and here's our receiver, Tech for Teachers. This is what we named earlier on the teacher side. All right. Okay, there's our notification. We will choose to accept it, and as soon as we do, we should see the student's screen in this receiver area. And there it is, and as you can see, it's gone full screen here. So if the student is on this side, and let's say the student is controlling this, you will see in real time that happen on your computer. All right, to stop the casting session, come back up here and then click the X. That will stop their ability to broadcast unless they request access again. Okay? If you signed up to be a beta tester for the new gradebook section of Google Classroom, you likely have access at this point. And this little demo is going to show you the ins and out of what is currently available through this gradebook component. All right, so as you can see right here, I have a demo class already set up, and I have several students, and I've got a gradebook that has grades already entered, and I'm going to walk you through the process of configuring your gradebook so that it's going to accept grades that have been imported into Classroom, and it should streamline this whole process for you. Okay, so let me quickly switch over here to another training class, and the first thing we need to do is to go to the gradebook section right here. As you can see, it's totally empty. Yours will look like this until you set it up. Okay, to get started with setup, click the gear icon in the upper right hand corner and then scroll down. All right, next thing that we need to do is to change some of these options here. The first one over on the right says no overall grade. I'm going to change this option to weighted by category. All right. Next, we also have show overall grade to students. This way, in Google Classroom, your students will always know what their current grade is for your class. All right, so we're going to go ahead and choose that option and enable it. All right, now that requires you be diligent on this end about making sure that your grades are up to date. All right, next, under grade categories, let's choose add a grade category, and we're going to start with quizzes. All right, so we'll add that. All right, we're going to make quizzes 20% of our grade. All right, just like so. All right, we'll tab over and then we'll add another grade category. This will be tests. All right, we'll make tests 30%. Add another category. This will be projects. I'll have projects be 30%. All right, and we have one more that we need to add here. That's homework. That will be 20% as well. All right, we'll strike enter, or return rather, and it's set. All right, so that totals 100%. Our categories are done. At this point, go ahead and click save. Okay, the next thing I want to do is start adding my assignments, tests, projects, homework, all that stuff to the Classwork section of Google Classroom. All right, I've switched over to a previous class just so that you can see how I have things sorted labeled and organized. All right. You'll notice I've created topics here. Chapter 1, I've capitalized the letters there. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. For each of the items that appear in these chapters that have this topic assigned to them, you notice how I abbreviated them. CH1, Quiz 1. And the reason I did that and used abbreviations here is so that the text would appear easy to read in my gradebook. All right, so if I go to my grades and I'm looking here, I can easily see what each of these is. All right, none of the titles are cut off or anything like that. I know exactly what it is. All right, so that's important. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch over to my new class here, and I'll create my first homework assignment for my students. All right, so let me click Create, and I need to create a topic first. All right, so we'll call this Chapter 1. All right, we'll click Add. There we go, we got a topic. Now let's create an assignment. All right, Create Assignment. All right, so we'll call this Chapter 1. Okay, we could add instructions here if we wanted to. I'm not going to for this tutorial though. All right, grade category, this is important. This is an assignment, and we're going to categorize this as homework. All right, so choose that option. Decide on the point value. You can assign a date here if you want, and then the topic. That's how the information is divided here on the classwork page. You're going to assign that right here. All right, this falls into the category of Chapter 1, so we'll choose that. All right, then we'll click Assign. Okay, so now here it is. All right, now if I go over to my gradebook, you'll see here it is. Okay, so at this point I've got class average and then Jose right here. Now if I want to, if this was something that he submitted on paper, I could look at it and I could enter the grade right here. All right, this is not, this is something he has to do and take action on. So what we would do is we would go to our classwork, we would click on the assignment, and we'd see who's turned it in. Jose, if we can switch over to his screen, all right, he'll go to the Classwork section, and there's his assignment. He'll view it. All right, in this case, he'll create a doc here. And then he'll turn it in. Okay. All right, I'll come back now to this screen, and let's go ahead and refresh it. All right, it says 1 has been turned in. All right, so we can view our assignment, and here it is. Here's Jose's work. If I wanted to view it, I could simply click on it here. All right, this was an assignment in Google Docs. Obviously this is blank, but let's assume he did a stellar job here on this. We'll go ahead and give him 100, and then we'll return it. Okay, return. All right, we can close out of this screen now. All right, we can refresh this. Okay, you can see we have given him a 100. Okay, adding other types of classwork is a pretty straightforward process. All right, and as assignments are given and the work is submitted, you're going to start to see your gradebook fill up. All right, so just FYI, at any time, if you need to come in and enter some grades manually or change some marks, very easy to do. All you need to do is position your cursor on the score. All right, hover it actually over the score, and then you'll see the 3-dot menu there. All right, you can choose that. You can view the submission. If the document has not been returned, you have the option to return it right here. All right, if you wanted to change the mark, all right, give him another score. Let's say I want to bring this up to a 90. I'm going to do the same thing on this. All right, let's make this a 50. All right, it saves it, but it looks like that I was mistaken. The calculations don't actually come in. All right, and it says draft. So let's go ahead and return it. Let's see if that makes a difference. Return that. Okay. So the overall grade is not actually calculated until you return that score to the student. Okay. So we'll return this, and then we should see that overall grade adjusted. See how that works? Okay. You can go back into the assignment by clicking the link right here if you need to. Okay. And some other options here you have is to edit the assignment or delete it altogether. All right. Also on the gradebook, you have the option to sort it by the last name. Okay. Unfortunately, at this point, there's really nothing you can do with this data. You really have no options in terms of what you can do with it. All right. So again, this gradebook component of Google Classroom, this is a beta version right now, so I'm sure they're developing other features as we speak. All right, so hopefully this gives you an idea of how this is going to work when the version 1.0 comes out. I'm sure there'll be some adjustments and changes that have been made here, but for now this should give you an overall idea of how things are going to flow. Okay?